Is this game overhyped? Is this game even worth the money? Is Palworld just garbage? Is it a Pokemon ripoff? If you have any of those questions, or even questions similar to that, that's exactly what I'm going to be addressing in this video today, so stay tuned. Have you ever wanted a game like Pokemon that has guns in it, building, resources, things like that? That's what Palworld is, at least that's what everyone's saying about it. So I bought it and I'm playing it myself for the past couple days to see what it's about. I'm also giving away a free copy of it for Steam. Be sure to stay tuned to the end of the video for that. And I've also been streaming the game on my Twitch, shameless Twitch plug here. Go follow that, and let's get into this video. First of all, I want to make it clear, no, this game is not a Pokemon killer. I've been seeing the developers of this game go to war with Nintendo and the die-hard Pokemon fans. This game is not a Pokemon killer. I don't think anything ever will be. Pokemon is just way too big and popular for it to ever be killed off. And in all honesty, I don't even see it as a direct competitor to Pokemon. It might be a bit of a hot take, but the reason I say that is because when I initially started playing this game, yes, it does remind me of Pokemon, but it actually reminded me more so of Ark Survival or games like that, rather than Pokemon itself. I see it more so as Ark Survival with elements of Pokemon in it and inspirations from Pokemon. And if any Pokemon game to be compared to at all, most likely like Legends of Arceus, if I had to make a comparison myself. Resource collecting, base building, survival, ridiculous character physiques and builds, that just screams Ark Survival to me. But in terms of the gameplay itself, Palworld actually felt pretty good considering it's in early access. Right now it's on sale on Steam for like $26. You know, I didn't encounter too many bugs, just a few minor things here and there, but nothing that really made the game unplayable considering it's early access. It was still something I was able to play through for hours on end and enjoy every minute of it. I have been hearing some people have issues with it running on Game Pass. I can't really speak on that because again, I just play it on Steam. If you've been having that issue, be sure to let me know though, but a couple people in my stream said that, so just be cautious. And on top of that, considering this is early access, there is still a lot of content in it. Attributes to level up, recipes to unlock that you can craft, things like that. Tons of pals is what they call it in this game. I believe there's over 100, about like 111, and I'm sure that's something that they're only going to expand on in the future. But, you know, that's one major reason why this game gets compared to Pokemon so much is because of the pals. On top of that, the developers of this game are listening to the community and they know what long-term Pokemon fans like myself have wanted, and they're purposely implementing things like that into the game. For instance, a difficulty slider that's actually difficult. This game is challenging if you want it to be. You could definitely put it on easy if you want. Obviously, I don't do that. But even on normal difficulty, I'm getting folded by the bosses. I'm accidentally fighting giant monsters and just getting put in the dirt. You will die in this game. The good news is you can get your stuff back. It'll mark that location on the map. You just gotta go there and pick it up. This game definitely has a challenge to it. But yeah, shout out to the developers. They know what the people want. They know their fan base, their target audience, and they are going exactly for them. They are doing what needs to be done. In terms of the story of this game, I mean, there's not really much to go over. There are these like little things you can collect that have information and kind of like journals that you can collect. Not too intriguing, but obviously, like I said, it's still early access. I'm sure that's something they're going to expand upon. When you first start the game, they kind of just throw you into the world with this little tutorial. It's not too guided, if you will. But obviously, there's raids, caves, things like that. Pretty much the equivalent of like gym battles in Pokemon. They have cool cutscenes, character design, music, things like that. But again, you have to remember, things in this game are only going to get better as time goes on, hopefully. There's a very small chance that they could butcher this game and follow very bad development practices. Hopefully that's not the case. I have faith in them. I think that they're going to be able to pull through and make this game even more popular than it already is. But the overall atmosphere and environment of those raids, bosses, fights, things like that, they already feel really good considering it's early access. And there's even like NPCs that capture pals and trap them. They raid your base, they try and fight you, called the Syndicate Thugs. Think of Team Rocket but with guns, Team Glocket if you will. But I have encountered a decent amount of bugs with these NPCs. This is just me nitpicking in all honesty. There's been a lot of instances where these NPCs' brains will literally just turn off and they just stare at you as you beat them down. I'm sure that's something that they'll fix in the future. Art, music, and customization. In terms of the art in this game, I actually do really enjoy it. You can very much tell that they take inspiration from Pokemon. I can see that being a little bit controversial for some people. I mean, I personally don't care. I'm a longtime Pokemon fan, and Nintendo needs to get their shit together. In terms of customization of your character, it's pretty decent so far. I mean, nothing too crazy other than the physiques. You can see that my character has a crazy build, but again, give this game some more time. I just know that they're going to be adding more customization and features, things like that down the line. They already mentioned that you can change your character, not in early access, but later down the road. In terms of the soundtrack in this game, I'm actually someone that really pays attention to that detail for some reason. The soundtrack, it's pretty good, it's just that it's not always playing. Not that, you know, I want it to, but it'd be nice if that was a feature you could enable or disable. I would like to see more from the soundtrack and sound production, or music production I should say. It definitely plays during like the raid battles and things like that, but it's pretty good. Again, I just want to see some more expansion on that. It just helps add to the environment and really gets you immersed into the game. Now, where I think this game will really shine is in the multiplayer. Currently, there are servers you can join, up to 32 players in early access. That's kind of crazy. I really don't care if they do or don't up that amount in the future. 32 is still a pretty decent size. On top of that, if I'm just playing with friends, I mean, I don't really have much anyway, so... But I could definitely see myself sinking even more hours into this game if I were to play with friends. I already sunk a decent amount of time into this game playing by myself, just on stream. So if I had friends to play it with, those hours would probably double. But yeah, in terms of some things that I actually really enjoyed from this game, specifically them catering to certain Pokemon fans that have been asking for things for a very long time from Nintendo. Having a modernized open world type of game like this, where you can interact with your pals, modern graphics, it's running extremely well, at least for me, again, in my experience. I know some people have said otherwise for Game Pass. This is something that we've been asking for a very long time from Nintendo that we just never saw because, again, they have no competition. There is no competition for them. They can do what they want and get away with it. But that's a video for another day. And again, like I said, I don't see this as a direct competitor to Pokemon, but it's definitely, I'm not sure if fan service would be the right word, but it's catering to a certain group of people. And on top of that, it's also drawing in more people. And the environment in this actually feels very immersive. You know, something like when I played Sword and Shield and you go into that open world area, everyone was hyping it up. It sounded super cool, and you do it and it's just like 3 trees and 2 Pokemon in the entire area. Here, there's tons of stuff. There's chests, eggs, mobs, villagers. I shouldn't call it villagers. This isn't Minecraft. Settlers, I believe is what they call it. And on top of that, there's pals fighting other pals, syndicate thugs fighting the pals. You know, it's like the NPCs and the mobs are actually interacting with one another, and it feels real. Even in early access, there still feels like there's a lot to explore and a lot to do. Just seeing these pals interact with one another, fight with one another, guard certain areas, things like that, that just gets me hyped. Because again, I know that this is only going to be further expanded upon in the future, and even right now, it feels great. $26 well spent. In all honesty, it's a bit hard for me to even say what I didn't like about this game. Other than the fact that, like I said, I would love to see a good soundtrack be developed and played in the background during my adventures. But yeah, that's just me nitpicking. Again, it's very hard for me to say bad things about this game. Other than that, something that I didn't necessarily like too much, which this is kind of personal opinion, when you first get thrown into the game, it's relatively hands-off. They do give you a tutorial in like the top right to follow, but it's literally just like a text box on the top right that you follow. Some people might like that, some might not. I personally don't mind it too much, but the game is relatively hands-off in terms of learning, but that is kind of a good thing, because it kind of just gives you more motivation to go out there and explore on your own. It is an open world game. That's what you should be doing. So, you know, maybe that's a good thing to some people might not like that. On top of that, this game, it didn't feel like a grind. Most games that are like this, it kind of feels like, oh man, it's like a second job almost. This game does not feel like that. You can put your pals to work. They do the work for you. There are literally plantations and farms where they will work for you. So with that being said, do I think this game is worth it? Do I think it's overhyped? 100% worth it. $26? Are you kidding me? For all this content? And I don't know if they're going to let you just have full access to the game at like a lower price, or you can just have full access to the game once it drops if you buy this. Regardless, $26 well spent. I don't think it's overhyped, not even in the slightest. I haven't seen anyone complain about this game. I don't see anything bad to say about it, other than from one, salty Pokemon fans, 2, people that were playing it on Game Pass saying it wasn't running too well. But again, early access, give them some slack. But anyways, as I mentioned, I'm giving away a copy of this game. All you have to do is subscribe and leave a comment with your Steam username in it, and then I will pick one random person to just give the copy away to. It's that easy. I'm not even asking for a like. If you did want to like the video, that'd be great too. But just subscribe and leave a comment with your Steam username. I'll be giving it away to one person. On top of that, I appreciate you if you've made it this far to the video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys later.